Okay.
All right.
Good
afternoon.
Welcome to the Muscle Up Yarn podcast. Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
We took a little holiday last week, and it is Thursday, July 11th. So we're working hard on being like almost halfway through July, which is
Monday.
insane.
Monday will be halfway through.
Crazy. And so this is a podcast about yarn and knitting and crocheting and sometimes spinning and other fiber related things mixed in with, weather and food and other things. Whatever
Animals,
Kelly and I decide to
goats.
chat about. Goats and other goofy stuff. We podcast here at our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont. And you can find the store out on all forms of social media as Must Love Yarn. Then we're definitely most active on Ravelry and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
A little activity on Facebook, but definitely more probably on Ravelry and Instagram. And I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
Yep.
I have to remember which hand I need to knit with.
I know, right? So we generally like to start our podcast with our pick of the week. And so the way this works is for the 2 weeks after the episode airs, you can get 10% off online or in store with a coupon code that we'll give you.
Mm-hmm. We've got lots of picks of the week this week.
Okay, cool.
So Andrea recommended that we do some lightweight cottons and summer yarns.
Okay.
She's had a lot of people coming in that are knitting tees and tanks and tops
Nice.
and things like that. And
Awesome.
they're looking for, like fingering weight cottons or lighter weight cottons anyway, or
Okay.
cotton blends.
Cool.
So some of these you guys have seen before. Actually, I think all of these you've seen before. But that's okay. If, it's been really hot in a lot of places. So
Yes.
if you still want to keep knitting but don't maybe want to work with wool, here are some options for you.
It's been a little melty here.
It has been,
But the humidity has been not bad.
it hasn't been.
lately.
We've had a few days here and there, but not like humidity in places in the south.
Yes.
We
get it.
We totally know that.
Right.
I would die if I had to be in Louisiana,
Yeah.
Mississippi, Florida,
Well,
Alabama.
So
Georgia.
I saw a really interesting post on Facebook that one of my friends shared. I have a couple of friends that live in Alaska because I actually grew up out west, and so it's not uncommon that people would go north. But so it was somebody posting who lives in Alaska, and they've had like ridiculously hot. And, basically the whole post was like, look, great, I know it gets really hot other places, but look, we're not used to it here.
Yeah.
We don't have the infrastructure. Meaning we don't have air conditioners. Nobody has central air. If we have a window unit, they're all sold out because this has been so crazy. And to top it off, they've been having issues with wildfires, so they have a ton of smoke, so they can't even open their windows.
And a lot of places actually don't have, believe it or not, they don't have wells.
Right.
They have to either, in Alaska, especially the really remote areas, they either rely on rainfall, snow melt, or getting water trucked in.
Yeah.
Because of the permafrost, they don't have like wells like we do here.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, it's the same as when you guys get snow.
Yeah.
Right? You're not used to it. It's cold. You're not used to dealing with it. You don't have the infrastructure for it. Up here, we're like, whatever. It takes a couple feet to slow us down. So it's
or ice.
or ice. And, so it's really just what you're used to, and we're not used to it. And nor do we have the structures in place. And
a lot of places don't have
AC.
air conditioning.
No.
More and more are getting them. Like, we have it here in the store.
Right.
But at home, I don't have central air.
No, we have a window unit. Sometimes we put it in, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
It's not in this year. It hasn't actually been. It's been cooling down at night. It hasn't been that bad.
And it's been getting down into the 60s at night for the most part. So it's been comfortable.
Yeah, and it hasn't been that humid for me. That's the big.
Me too.
The nasty one.
Yeah, we've had a couple days, but not
Nothing
anything
crazy.
like we
have had previously. So anyway, so that's all.
Anyway,
so
if you want
back
some
to
cotton
yarn.
knitting, cotton
yarn.
blend yarns, this is the first one. And this is Lana Grossa Summer Tweed. And we've got 6 colors. And we have a customer who's making a top in this, and it is just knitting up beautifully. So I think Andrea said she's using that color.
Ooh, cool.
But
that blue is
I
lovely.
know, isn't that pretty?
Actually, that orange
love
is kind
them
of cool.
all. Yeah,
It's a
I do too.
different-
There's a kind of a neutral, kind of taupes and browns and grays, and then I like that one too.
This one here would
many
go with like
colors in
everything.
it. I know. And then the one that's green, that one's pretty too. I would like them all anyway. So this one retails for $26, and let me give you the details on this. It is a fingering weight, 72% cotton, 20% viscose, 8% nylon. It's 100 gram skein, and it's going to be like 400 plus yards, 440 yards. So it's 400 meters. So that is that one. And next, this one we did not too long ago. And this is the KFI painted lace.
Take one.
Here. These are enormous, so yeah. Those are the ones we've got in stock currently. This is the one that I started that crochet shawl with.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm doing it in this one. And there's so much yardage on these. So these retail for $30. They come with a pattern on the ball band to make that shawl. And let me give you the details on these. 100% cotton, 200 grams, so you're getting 874 yards in these. They technically consider this sport weight. They have a number 2 listed on the label, but you could definitely work this as a fingering weight if you wanted to, a heavier fingering weight. So, but these do come with the pattern right on the ball band. So if you like having something, and it is a knit pattern, a knit shawl. But if you like having something specific in mind, this would be a good option for you. And so that's that one. And the last one, this one you guys know because Ange and I both did our crochet bandana cowls using this.
Oh, did you?
Okay. There you go. That was so coordinated.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Super awesome.
So this is the Godiva Lanamia Coton, and it is, there's a label, and this is the one that we did those crochet cowls with, and we've got 6 colors, some really pretty ones, and let me give you the details on these. Oh, these are $19.99, and they're 90% cotton, 10% polyester, which is a little bit of the elasticity that's in it. And they are 100 gram skeins, 380 meters, so about, what's that, like 310 or so, 320 yards,
400.
410 or 420 yards. Sorry, I'll get there.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's those.
Nice.
And this. And that. So I've got links to those in show notes. So any 3 of these yarns will be 10% off. And
Weekly Pick Sun.
Weekly Pick
Haven't
Sun.
done
That one
before.
will be super easy.
Weekly Pick Sun.
Weekly Pick Sun. Any 3 of these yarns, 10% off.
Any of
And
these 3 yarns.
Any of these 3 yarns in stock.
Yes. In store. Or if you come into the store, we've been trying to keep a list
We have been.
by the register so people know.
So we
'cause
try to remember
other
that.
people that work here, and sometimes we don't always remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody will come in and be like, "Oh, isn't the pick of the week such and such?" And I'd be like, maybe.
Sure.
It might be. So Weekly Pick Sun,
yes.
and if you have any questions about where that coupon code goes, take a peek at episode 73.
We did a little quick tutorial. Yep. Yes. So I have a FO this week.
I know. And you're wearing it.
And I'm wearing it. This is Gretel.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
It's so pretty. Look at that.
Thank you. So this is a Coco Knits pattern, and I did see on Coco Knits Instagram that she's going to start selling her patterns on Ravelry.
Oh, so we don't have to
Electronically.
send away for them.
Well, whether or not she's going to participate in the in-store program is...
No, but you can still get them instantly.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to wait for
you
them
don't
to
have
come
to
through the mail.
send away for it to get a hard copy pattern. So
There's
I'm
sort
pretty
of like
excited
an
about
old
that.
charm in that.
There is.
A little bit.
And
Waiting the anticipation.
No, I wanted to start right away. It came on really nice paper, and it was all printed really nice, and it just looked really pretty, and I didn't want to put it in my bag because it would have gotten a little wrecked. So
I know, I always copy them if I have like a nice...
But anyway, so this is Gretel by Coco Knits. It's a pattern that I think she used lace weight or fingering weight for on like sixes, US sixes, so it was meant to be a really open type weave. I saw it knit in a worsted weight cotton, so the Barocco modern cotton, and I really liked it because I love the cowl neck and sort of the shape and the drape of it. It's got a little bit of an A-line to it, but I didn't really want something that open because I can't like wear that to work, or it'd be a little
You'd have to wear a tank or
but
a
even if I
camisole
wore
or
a
something.
camisole underneath it, it would still be a little it's borderline
casual,
too casual or too, I don't know. I mean, I work in a very conservative profession, even though Vermont's not as conservative as on that front as many other places. But so I went with the Barocco modern cotton. So it's a worsted weight and on sixes. I really like the fabric. I think it has a nice drape to it. I might have to tuck these up a little bit more. I did shorten the armholes.
That's right, you did, because they were pretty deep, weren't they?
Yep. And apparently I did an okay job.
It fits.
It fits. Yay! Well, and the nice thing about if this, when you do seams here, like if I need to tuck this or take this in a little bit, I can, because it's seamed. So if it stretches and cotton will sometimes do that, it'll hang, it'll grow. So.
Well, and this has rayon in it too, which has that heft to it, and it just kind of drapes a lot. So
so you can see it's super drapey. Unfortunately, this purple has been discontinued by Barocco. I don't know why, because it's an amazing purple.
That's what they do. You fall in love with one.
I know.
I know that purple is a great purple because it's so dark. It's almost navy, almost black, but it's not. It's purple, so you get that little hint of color, and I like it.
So that's my Gretel. It's all done. I was full steam ahead until I got to the armhole part, and then it took a side, and then I picked it up again, and really it just needed the shoulders seamed together, which I did last night because I was like, I'm gonna have a finished object. So I did.
Awesome.
And I get to wear it today, which is awesome.
I have no FOs.
That's okay. We've been knitting a sweater.
Yeah, so have you.
And I've been knitting a sweater and a hat and another shawl, and I've just been casting stuff on. Can't stop casting things on.
Well, you're apparently good
finishing
at finishing things too. Because look, you're almost done with that one.
I am almost. I was thinking I was trying to get this done for today. It's not going to happen.
I knew I wasn't going to get mine done for today. I was hoping to get to the armhole where I separate for the arms, but the sleeves, but that didn't happen.
So Kelly and I both are knitting the Soldotna,
which you guys saw me swatching for last time.
I didn't swatch at all,
and it's a good thing I did.
And not surprises, no one. And this one will probably fit. It'll probably fit me because I didn't swatch.
That's Angela's recipe for success.
It is.
Don't swatch.
So this is Soldotna, and Kelly's got her Soldotna.
I do.
This is a cropped short sleeve tank or short sleeve sweater.
And they're so completely different. I love it.
So different.
I love it though. Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah. Mine are so
fun.
It's on smaller needles, so it's kind of bunched up. But.
So it's a DK weight colorwork sweater, as you can tell. And I dug into stash and leftovers for mine, and I wanted to knit it after seeing, Kelly was like, I'm gonna knit it. I'm like, me too.
I don't have a lot of DK in my stash.
I don't either.
I've got a lot of worsted and a lot of fingering.
I have a lot of fingering, and a smattering of DK. I've been trying to pick. The problem with worsted is it takes up more space in your stash. But and so I have like random one-off skeins of like DK, and I was like, well, I wonder, because I tend to buy along the same kind of color palettes. I was like, I wonder if they'll go together, because you could, depending on what size you're making, you can get by with almost one skein of each of the 4 colors. And so the pink down here is the leftover yarn from Abigail's sweater. So it's a Kingdom Fleece and Fiberworks in the Muscle of Yarn colorway. And I had a whole skein of that left over. So that became a color. The purple is a Plymouth Yarn Merino Select DK that William won at
the
Worldwide
Games.
Knit and Public Day Yarniad Games, and I promptly commandeered it from him. I don't think he's noticed it's missing, nor that it's in my sweater.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
It just disappeared. I didn't noticed.
Like, if you really want some, I will rip.
I know. I'm like, it's not like I can't get you more yarn.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect color to go with these. The white is leftover Legacy Fiber Arts parchment from my Ingalls sweater. And the blue, the darker blue, actually the only blue, this is all the same color. It just looks different depending on which color it's next to, is Marisol Nuna. And it was some yarn that I bought a couple years ago, or a year ago, and started a crochet project that did not go well. And so after I've done some more crochet lately, I ripped it out and was going to start again. And I was still having a lot of the same like issues, so I just think it was the wrong yarn for that particular project. And so I had ripped it out and was thinking like, well, I can use this for something else. And so I was sitting on the bed. I used my guest room for like the yarn staging area. Sometimes it looks like a yarn bomb went off in there because there's just stuff everywhere. And I just had it thrown on the bed, and I'm like pulling out skeins of other DK yarn out of the, the leftovers, and I have all kinds of little hidey holes, and like this yarn just kind of all fell together, and I was like, those colors all go together.
I know. Andrew's sending me pictures of yarn combinations. Like, what do you think about this one? How about this one?
Kelly's like, oh God, she's starting another project. So then I had to actually go buy the pattern to make sure to get the yardages for each of the various colors, so I could figure out if I had it. Because then problem 2 was, do I have enough yardage? And luckily for each of the colors where I wanted to use them, I had an appropriate amount of yarn.
Nice.
So, yep. So in true fashion, I did not swatch. I'm making extra large because that seems to be the size that fits me, no matter what, unless I actually knit to gauge. And then I am using the needle sizes that the pattern calls for. So
there you have it.
Yep. So there you go. The Nuna is, I think, technically a sport weight yarn. It is definitely a little lighter than the other ones I'm working with, but it's fine. It'll block out. It's fine. It's really fine.
So mine, you heard me talk a bit about last time. I am using Green Mountain Spinnery music for all 3 of the colors except for the natural, which is the New Mexico organic.
That's beautiful, Kel.
My only thing is it's harder to see on camera, but the green and the brown sometimes it's harder to distinguish them, but you can. So maybe I should have switched up some of where my colors live in it next to each other, but I still really like it. You can see the green there. So it's going to go to in the body. The green is going to stay, the brown's going to go away, and the little flea flecks are going to be these 2. So I think that'll be really pretty, and then the brown comes back in for the band at the bottom. And so I swatched. And I swatched with the size 5 needles, and I was getting, I think, something like 18 stitches over 4 inches, which it calls for 22 over 4. So I dropped down to a size 3 needle, and that's where I got gauged. So I'm knitting this on size 3s, and I swear it's going to be bulletproof because it's color work and it's kind of a crunchier yarn, so it makes a stiffer fabric. If you look at Anja's superwash version, it's drapier. This one could almost stand up on its own. But I'm getting stitch gauge. I'm not getting row gauge. My row gauge, I was getting a lot more rows than was called for. So I had to, this last section, just before you separate for the sleeves, I'm making this longer, which in the pattern, if you look at it for the different sizes, that's where she has you adjust the length before you separate for the sleeves. So that's where I'm making up for. So my medium, I'm doing I think is the medium, whatever the 40-inch one was. That one, if you look at mine compared to somebody else who's done that same size, will look different because this section will be bigger on mine, but I think it's going to be fine, and it'll fit that way. So I measured another sweater that I really like that was done this, and we're back. Maybe.
Hopefully.
So I measured from the collar to the point of where you'd separate for the sleeves, and I think that was it was around 9 inches. So I'm almost to that point on this one. I think I've got a couple more rows, and then I can separate for the sleeves, and then start working on the body of the sweater. And then nice. It's a short sleeve, so you do some ribbing around the sleeves, so the sleeves you're not stuck there for very long.
Now it's basically just the ribbing. You put your stitches back on, pick up stitches under the underarm, and do the ribbing.
I have to see if I have size 3 12-inch needles. I think I do.
Oh, I just bought some because I'm
pretty sure I've got 9-inch.
Couldn't be bothered to look.
Because I think this actually tells you like the sleeve measurement around is like 11.5 inches or something on the size I'm doing. So it's going to be snug. But that's, I think, because of the ribbing too. So yeah, I don't know. 12s would probably still work.
Stretch it.
They should, because it's not going to fit around my arm.
Otherwise, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So this was my camping project. I took this with me camping, and that's where I got a lot of the work done on it, and then have just been kind of picking away at it since then. And the DK helps, and just that it's a cropped sweater with no sleeves. Yeah. But I'm on pace to finish this in in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it's pretty. A lot of people that have been doing it have, it's been a 2 or 3 week, less than a month project.
Yeah. So it's pretty quick.
It is.
But before we left to go camping, I cast on a new shawl, which I have not worked on since then, but made pretty good progress on it. And that was Glass Houses.
Somebody bought the same colorways. It's so I think somebody who watches, or saw your Instagram post, one or the other, bought the same color. So I don't know if they're going to make the same shawl as you or not, but it's gorgeous, those colors together.
How far I've gotten.
So pretty. I saw the designer commented on your post too.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That must be fun as a designer, seeing all of your
people tagging
just the different combinations, because the colors alone for different.
So projects. There's a section of garter here, and then you'll get back into the and actually the next mosaic section is a lot more complicated, which is why this one did not go with me camping, because you have to actually follow the chart or pay much closer attention. So this first section's pretty. Once you get the pattern set, it's pretty easy to follow it through. But nice. So do I have the pattern to show? Is this one? Some of them, they have beautiful pictures, but then on the pattern themselves, it doesn't always have. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that's that pattern. So I'm in I think this section right here. So just started. But super fun, and the colors are they're gorgeous. 11 the colors together.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
As soon as I get this Soldana done, I'll pick this one back up.
There you go.
But I'll probably cast on something else. Then I cast on another thing.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Do I know about this thing?
I did post it out on Instagram. Finally. But I started another shift along.
Oh, I didn't see it. I haven't been on social media a ton.
Yeah, I haven't either. Just enough to pop out and post some stuff like this. So this is the shift along.
That's so fun. That's
hat.
with your changes.
This is the leftover yarn from my changes shawl.
Nice.
So so I've got the little baggie of bits and bobs.
That's fun.
And my picture to tell me what order I had them in on the shawl. Though I could mix it up if I wanted.
Yeah.
And I still have some, this is like the never-ending skeins of yarn. They just, so you don't actually use a huge amount for the changes, or for the shift along. So my first two colors.
Nice.
Yep. So this is it's a fun pattern. It's a cute hat when it's done.
It's going to be really cute in that, and that kind of mix. It's going to be so different than the first one you did.
Oh, yeah. And I'm cutting out one of the repeats because I didn't like how tall that other one turned out. So I'm cutting out one of the sets of repeats, and
So you're going to have it more beanie style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yippers. So.
Cool. That's really cute. I like it.
Thank you.
It's so different than your other one. That's so funny.
I know. It's not that. That's the amazing thing with yarn, though, is it?
Because that one you used more of a solid background.
Clearly, I've cleaned my bag out since the retreat.
That's from the retreat. I was going to say that's from the retreat.
I just found this in my
the lanyards.
giant knitting bag, which is
that is too
the
funny.
lanyards. It's hilarious. They unearthed themselves.
That is too funny.
Okay. Well, I guess that probably needs to be cleaned up. Should probably actually
see
leave
what else
this
you find in
here.
there.
Oh God, who knows? Who knows? All kinds of fun things, random papers, and oh, I was looking for that tax bill.
Oh goodness. I have pretty much just been working on my Soldotna. I haven't been doing... I did. So I didn't bring it because there's a friend of mine who is looking into starting her own business, which is going to be kits for sewing.
Oh, cool.
So I gave her some resources. My mom and I put our heads together, and my mom mostly came through with the resources because she's been sewing forever. That's what she does, and well, she's retired now. But so she put together a bunch of resources for my friend and for drafting and things for patterns and things like that. So she asked if she could send us, either me or my mom, one of her kits to have us sew it up and give her feedback on it. So I actually did that. Was that Sunday? This Sunday? I think it was on this Sunday. No, it wasn't this Sunday. I don't know. It was...
It's all blurring together.
There was one day within the last...
Couple
since
of
we
weeks.
saw you guys last, that I sat down at my sewing machine, and it was a quick pattern. It's a wrap skirt. And at some point, I will bring it in and show you guys. And it's a great pattern for somebody who wants to get into sewing, because
cool.
wrap skirts are, that's one of the first patterns a lot of people make as a wrap skirt, because they're pretty straightforward to do. So I sewed it up. It was actually only a couple hour, 2 or 3 hour project, and I sat down this weekend and did some feedback on the pattern for her. So
Nice.
She's gonna send me, once she does some of the revisions and put some more stuff together, she's gonna send it to me, and I'm gonna look it over again. But
Nice.
so so that was fun. So something different than knitting, but I know a lot of you guys have other crafts and hobbies that you do too, and I would
not met a craft that I think I'd like to not like to try. Right?
Yeah, right. At least once.
At least once.
So I know there's a lot of you out there that do so. So once she kind of gets everything squared away with it, I will definitely share her business information for you.
Nice.
So yeah, So I think it'll be fun. So you get the instructions, you get the fabric is all cut. So all you have to do is, sit down, read. You get the thread, you get all of the notions, things like that. So you just have to have.
Now that could be a sewing project I could get behind.
Yeah, because it's ready to go.
Yeah.
And a lot of the part, some people like
to do
doing it from the very beginning all the way through, like the swatching and the blocking and the weaving in ends and things like that. With knitting,
right,
some people like to have every step of the sewing project as well, but if you just don't have time for it, it takes a lot of the more tedious parts of it out. So I think it'll be a really, it's a neat idea. So I hope she does well with it.
Nice.
But
Awesome.
I will definitely keep you guys posted with that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Super cool.
But knitting wise, this is pretty much it, you guys.
So I think I might have settled on some yarn for the no frill sweater.
Ah.
So I've been circling around that one for a while.
Yes, you've been mentioning that one.
Yeah, I have. So there's no need for me to buy more yarn for another figurine weight sweater. Because I have a ridiculous number of sweater quantities worth of figurine weight yarn. I just have to decide if I want to add mohair to it or not, because you can, or you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this Woolen Vines yarn on her Volga base, which is her MCN base, that Kelly bought, or I commissioned Kelly to buy one year at Any Entangled. I think it was 3 years ago.
Was it that long?
I think so.
It was at least 2.
It was, I think it was either the year I went with Abigail when she was an infant, or the year just prior, because we didn't have, you were the only one that had VIP ticket.
I was the one that had a VIP ticket, yeah. That's
and
right.
Jen and I were standing in line. I'm pretty sure it was when Abigail was a little baby, so that would have been 3 years ago, or little tiny newborn. And so I gave Kelly a pile of money, and I said, I want sweater quantity of Woolen Vine, and she her eyes got kind of big, like, what do you want me to pick out?
I was like, what colors?
What colors? I was like, I don't care. All of her
She's like, anything. I love it all.
It's fine. So I have 4 skeins of this, and it's her Gashly Crumb colorway, which is just a bunch of different really super fun colors. And I think it would just make a really cozy, nice no-frill sweater. So the question is, do I want to pair a mohair with it? And if I do, what color of mohair? Because there's actually quite a few different colors in here.
Yeah, there are.
You could go with something really neutral, like a light gray or a light brown, or you could go like one of these blues, or really wild like the green. Probably not. But I just think it would make a really nice, cozy, just wrap up in the winter, snuggle in type sweater.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, because that's her cashmere base one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. So I think this is going to be the no frills.
Nice.
I have I have a sweater's quantity of Peggy Jane yarn.
Do you?
That's like bright pinks and purples that I thought maybe I would do it out of and tone it down with the mohair a little bit. But every time I look at that yarn, I'm like, yeah, it's probably really yarn that would be better for a sweater for a small person in my house. It's a little wild. It's a little loud. Even for me, I think even toned down with some mohair, it's a little loud.
You can always knit a little swatch with some mohair mixed in.
That's
Test
true.
out some different mohair colors.
That's
Because
true.
it's amazing how
much
changing out the one color of that yarn that you're holding with it
Yeah.
can really change the look of the fabric.
That's true. That's true.
I know I said that word that starts with S.
That bad word.
That bad word. It's not even a 4-letter word.
Fine. It's a 5-letter word.
5-letter word.
6-letter word.
6.
6. It's a 6-letter word.
was like, 5 doesn't seem quite right. I think we're missing a letter.
Yes. No, that's true. That's true. So I don't know. So that's where I am now. I kind of perused real quick our mohair and mohair-esque selections.
Fuzzy yarns.
They're fuzzy yarns, and I wasn't really seeing anything at first glance that sort of caught my eye. So, I don't know. It could be one of those ones where that yarn goes to like Rhinebeck with me, and as I met, Indie Untangled or Needles Up, I'm just checking out what some of those folks have, something that would pair well with those colors. But I'd probably like to cast it on before that, but I probably should have lots of other things to work on. Like throwback or fill in the blank, few shawls, little red pullover for Abigail, which I did knit on a little bit, but I didn't bring because I was out of space. There's like a pile of bags over here. I walked in, they were like, you need one of those little wagons. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's usually how I come in the store in the morning too, because I have my laptop backpack, and I mean, I've got some knitting stuff in there, but it's mostly the backpack with a few things. I have my purse, I have my lunch bag, I have my knitting bag. So that's 4. Sometimes I have my water bottle. Sometimes I can tuck that into another bag.
Oh, yeah.
So I usually have at least 4 bags.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes narrow it down to 3, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got for upcoming projects, and I'm sure between now and next week it will have completely changed. Again.
I know, my list keeps changing, and I've got some that I should just finish up because they're close. And then I added a simmering section on our show notes because there's some they were in whips, but I'm like, I'm not really working on those.
I saw that.
So
that's
I moved it down to there because I might refer to them on occasion.
Yeah.
Because I really should work on them,
or they're still there, so when they do come back up to be whipsies, you don't have to go hunt down the information again.
That's right.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. Yep.
Because really technically my blue vanilla socks should be down there because they have not been getting any love lately. I've been working on other stuff like Soldotna.
I've just been in such a sweater place lately.
Yep.
But that's okay.
Yep.
So events.
We have some cool stuff coming up. Tomorrow. Kickoff party for the Great Northern Yarn Haul.
Here's the bag for this year.
So cool.
So with a $20 purchase, you get the tote bag, you get your passport, you get goodies that are in the bag, and then you can do the yarn haul, which is a yarn crawl, and it's Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So there's participating stores, and they're hard to read on the bag, but there's the little passport in there. A lot of the stores are in Vermont this year. It kind of varies. Some stores will have been doing it since the very beginning, and others kind of come and go. So it kind of changes out how many are in each of the different states.
Yep.
But even more signed up in Vermont this year than they have been. So that's that. But we're having a kickoff party tomorrow night, and we have a Vermont artist, Eve Jacobs Carnahan, who's coming, and she's going to be doing a really cool, I think it's going to be a really interesting talk tomorrow evening, presentation. So, and that starts at 5:30. That's when her talk starts, but you can come early if you'd like. We're going to do a little light refreshments and just kind of just hang out.
Yep.
And so the store's going to be open a little bit later, and we'll be here until 7.
Nice.
And So her talk is about an hour talk. So she'll be doing her talk from 5:30 to 6:30, and then we'll have a half hour on each side of that where you can kind of come in and get your bag if you're doing the yarn haul, and whatever, just
Nice.
chilling, hanging out, knitting,
Nice.
having fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
We also have the Stitch and Pitch with the Lake Monsters coming up on the 27th of July.
I can't believe. I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, it's so far away.
I just picked up tickets for my crew and made sure that we were right on the aisle so we're not in the middle because we're up and down and up and down. So as to not disturb everybody else that's in the row. But it should be a good time. It's always fun. It's also Star Wars night and post-game fireworks night. And there's always lots of fun things happening at the ballpark here in Burlington.
Yep.
The Lake Monsters are a great organization. And they run the team's decent. Well, come watch some football. Come watch some baseball and have a good time. So family friendly.
Yes. They have a lot of activities for kids.
Yeah, definitely geared towards kids and families, but definitely stuff going on for people of all ages. The beer and wine and cider is
They have a really good
amazing.
local selection.
Yep.
So
Yep. So good choices, more than just Coors Light. Nothing wrong with Coors Light, but there's lots of micros and local stuff
Yeah.
that they've got in. So
we have a woman coming down from Canada who's coming down to visit the shop the day before.
Oh, yeah?
And then she's going to come to the ball game. I know, it's so cool. She called the other day and she asked to have a ticket set aside for her.
That's
so
awesome.
I know, I'm so excited to meet her.
so fun. So yes, come hang out. Come knit with us at the ballpark. I may not be flinging t-shirts this year. That did not go as well last year. In fact, a couple of people that I think accidentally got placed on our section got t-shirts flung at them, and they kind of looked a little shocked and like, what is happening? Why are all these people being
Yarn
rowdy?
and t-shirts. And,
Yeah, being kind of rowdy. So come be rowdy with us. Super fun. Super fun. What else do we have coming up? We've got a shift along kind of class on August 3rd. Shift along kind of class. A class for that technique.
So for doing like mosaic knitting, and also Andrea's teaching the class. Andrea is one of our full-time employee that is here, and she is really good at combining color. She's been addicted to doing the night shift, especially. She's done, I think, at least a couple worsted weight versions. She's doing a fingering weight version, and she loves playing with the color. So she's going to do some color theory and talk about combining colors, combining textures, and also then, get into the mosaic style of knitting. And the night shift pattern is a really good one for that because it's a very symmetrical pattern, and you're doing pretty much the same thing throughout. So it's a good one to kind of get your feet wet with for mosaic or slip stitch style knitting.
Yep.
So yes,
Nice.
and our meerkat. Did you guys see this? Did you see this? She knit her a little shift shawl.
Yes, and somebody brought her a lovely brooch to
Yeah, that was
keep it
Anne.
on.
Yeah. So we've got that class on August 3rd. So if you're local and you want to take that class, I think it's going to be really fun.
Or if you're not local
Or if
and
you're
you
not
need an
local,
excuse to come up to the shop,
Exactly. Then come on and join us.
come join the fun.
Yeah.
We have a few knit-alongs going. The Blackberry Shawl Along was supposed to end today because I thought I was all smart and had planned it, so when we podcast, we'd be all ready to go, but I should have ended it yesterday if that was the goal, and not today. So I'm going to leave it open for a little bit longer, probably through the weekend, and then I'll lock the thread and I'll pull prizes for it for next week.
Excellent.
So that's the update on the Blackberry Shawl Along. And we've got the butterfly Cal, if anybody is doing that class, that is kind of all wrapped up. I think she's still here for a couple of the Thursdays.
Tonight and next week help sessions. So if you're stuck and you need help right from the designer herself, she's here doing those help sessions.
Yep. So that's running for a little bit longer. We've got the Shift Along Cal, which started, and man, that thread has been active.
Has it? I haven't popped in.
Yeah, the chatter thread has been pretty active. Lots of people are knitting, casting on, showing off their works in progress. So that one is running through October, beginning of October. For any of the 4 shift patterns, and we have those linked down, and also in the Ravelry group as well. I'm working on a couple of other Cals. We're gonna do the Warm Hearts, whatever. I'll figure out a better name. What is basically the mint tree? We'll be doing that again. So stay tuned. That'll come soon.
Excellent.
Yes.
So. Our crochet along.
What do you have for me as a prize?
A prize.
I won,
Angela's
right?
not allowed crochet along.
I won, right?
Yeah. Sorry, you're not eligible. You know the rules.
Rule schmoles.
Rule schmoles. So, I locked the thread, and I random number generated a number for our prize. And I did that because there are so many great pieces. There were so many good ones.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. So I had to do it that way because I wouldn't have been able to choose. I would have just given everybody a prize, which I'm sure you guys would not be disappointed with, but that wasn't in the budget. So the random number that I generated was number 7. And number 7 was Nancy, and I think she was, if I remember correctly, she's from Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
I think. Is that right, Nancy? You can tell me. I think I remember that from her post. But she posted a couple projects that were both amazing. But number 7 was this gorgeous shawl that she finished up, and it was a whip. And she used the Zauberball Crazy yarn to make that. And it's called the Lost in Time shawl. So she took advantage of the whips allowed portion, and she finished this up. So Nancy, congratulations. Send me a message through Instagram, Ravelry, however you want to do it, or email me, kelly@mustloveyarn.com. And you are going to be winning this lovely skein of Fiber Stash.
Nice.
So this is her merino cashmere nylon base, and this is the Beast colorway. Super, super soft. It's a fingering weight. It's a little bit of a heavier fingering weight in the lovely shades of blue with little pops of yellow. So
nice.
Yes, send me a message and I will get your prize out to you. Cool. Congratulations, and thanks for playing along, everybody. It's been fun. It was really fun seeing all the crochet projects that everybody did. Getting some ideas for new ones. Her shawl that she did, that was one I had seen before. And I was like, oh, that'd be really pretty to do.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So it looks like we have some shout outs.
We do have a couple. So we had a few people. I'm going to try to do this without. Oh, I shook a little. Sorry, guys. I'll try not to earthquake too much. We had a couple people recently, since the last podcast, stop in to the store, and we just want to give you guys a little bit of a shout out because we know that you watch, and we're sorry we weren't here to meet you.
I am hardly ever here.
Yeah.
Only Thursday afternoons.
I know. I'm sometimes in the back in the office, and I don't always hear when people are here. Anyway, so Diana Branco, I'm sure, I don't know how to say your last name, Branco, I would guess.
That's why we guessed too.
From Attleboro, Massachusetts. Hi, Diana.
Hi.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you for coming in.
And then we also had Kathy Converse from Madison, Wisconsin, come all the way to visit us.
Wisconsin.
Well, she probably didn't come just to visit us, but
you never know.
We get really big heads if people came all that way to see us.
Yeah. So thank you for coming to visit the store.
Yeah, we hope you guys had a lot of fun while you were here. And I'm sure Andrea and or Pam
entertained you
while you were here.
Yes.
They're great.
They are great.
So
we have one more event that's coming up. You printed out the information there.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We changed the date, and that's why I forgot to put it back in the events.
But we'll make sure we get it into all the details into the show notes.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is make a completely separate page because it's going to have a lot of information that goes with it. And that way I can also, hopefully, I got to see if I can figure out how to post the forms that are going to go along with this. I might be able to do that so people can just download it and bring it in with their yarn.
Yeah.
So we are actually going to be doing a yarn swap. And that is going to happen. It's actually going to happen on the same day as the baseball game. So that is the 27th of July. And there are going to be some details, some rules about yarns that will be allowed, yarns that won't be allowed, and all of that information. So that's why I'm going to do this separate page so that we can give you the rundown on all of that.
Yep.
So, you can bring in yarn up during the week leading up to it, and we're going to go through and assign a value to it, and the value will be tickets. So for each skein of yarn you bring, you're going to be assigned a certain amount of tickets. You'll be able to see all this information online. And then the day of the yarn swap, we're going to have bins, and the yarns will be sorted by how many tickets they're worth. So if you bring in a yarn and you get 4 tickets for that particular yarn, it's a higher end yarn, then you can either use that to buy another skein of a similar value yarn, or you can use it to buy multiple skeins of a lesser value of yarn. We are also adding the option, so if you don't see any yarns you like, you can then use your coupon towards your tickets that you'll get. Well, then if you get a certain number of them, I think, did they decide on 10?
I think so, 10.
10, then you will get a 10% discount. You can take all 10 of those and get a 10% off coupon for the store. So if you'd rather do that, you're welcome to do that too. But you can read all about it. I will get the links up probably in the next couple of days. I hope to do that because we want to get all the information out there so that if people want to participate, then they can.
Yeah.
So it'll be happening during the yarn haul. So if you want to get rid of some yarn, so you can either get some more during the yarn haul, you can.
Or you buy too much during the yarn haul and you want to get
quick turnaround time on that yarn. So we're going to be doing that. We've had a number of people asking about that for some time, so we thought we would
organize it.
Get that going. So we'll give you all of the information. It's going to be 11 to 1 on the 27th, and just so you can start thinking about that and get that in your mind of when that is, and get it on your calendar if it's something you want to attend. And the day of, we're going to be limiting the number of skeins that you can bring. The day of, we're going to be asking that people bring no more than 10 skeins to swap, but if you do bring yarn ahead of time, then we're not going to be necessarily limiting that, but there are rules as to the yarns that will be allowed. So be sure to check the link. Once I get that up, I will make sure to put that in the show notes once I get that in the system.
Nice.
So if it's not there when you first check, keep checking, because I'll make sure to put it in there once I get that settled and situated.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
I think so. I don't know that I have anything else.
I don't think I do either. Which is probably good. So our video, you'll see a little bit of an edit, and I'm hoping that it's behaving.
Do we have sound? Because sometimes when it does that, we lose sound.
Yeah. So hopefully
this half an hour is not a just silent. Actually, I'd probably just stick it in and put music to it and just be like, sorry. Stay tuned for the outtakes at the end.
Yeah. So hopefully so I don't know really how long we've been going, because it was
over an hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say over an hour, because that one was pretty long. This one is about half hour. So anyway, I think we can probably wrap it up.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So we will see you guys probably next week.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
I thought that I got sunscreen on it.
I always end up with like a little patch somewhere on my arm where I missed just like a little sliver, but I've been pretty good.
What happens is a lot of times I use whatever's left on my hands after I
And
sunscreen
just-
at my kids.
Yep.
And I need to not do that. I need to actually
Apply it.
my own.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, my poor little nose and my hand. I have a knitting injury.
Uh-oh.
I'm ignoring it. No, actually, I was at acupuncture yesterday, and he poked some needles in my hand, and now it hurts worse because I think he not worse, but it just is now more obvious that there's a sore spot. I'm gonna go get a massage on Saturday and make Rod take care of it. He'll take care of it. Color work, because the way I hold my arm when I do color
I know,
work,
it is different, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My hands feel different when I do that too.
And so having knit this one so quickly and basically spending so much time just working on it.
It's so funny how like yours is the superwash and it moves so much differently than mine does.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is definitely stiffer. I told my husband, I'm like, this thing's going to be bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was getting, 20, what was the called for gauge?
It calls for... I should check mine now that we're talking about it, because now I'm curious. 22 stitches over 4 rounds and 26 row gauge over 4 inches. Or 4 inches.
Yeah, and I was getting like
not it.
18, I think. I was getting 18 stitches over 4, so I had to go way down
Yikes.
on 5s. So I went down to the 3s and
Let's see. The color work makes it a little awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. I'm getting 20 stitches. I'm supposed to have 22. Whatever.
so it'll be a little bit bigger than...
Yeah. Well, this actually says I'm getting 27, but
Yeah,
Not
I was
some per 4
getting
inches, but
like 30 or 31. So that's, I know I had to knit a lot.
but it's a
More rows.
fun. This is super fun knit.
It is
I've
fun.
enjoyed it. But I'm already trying to work on what I want to do next. So I brought some yarn because I have some thoughts.
Excellent.
Yes. But I may not have everything that I need. So, and I'm not sure that we have what else I need here.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. I'm trying not to buy yarn. Really, I'm trying not to buy a huge amount of yarn. Let me rephrase that. I am trying to use things out of my ridiculously out of control stash.
It was really cute. We had somebody come in, and her and her friend are on a yarn diet, and they did it together so that they could kind of like help each other through it. And they're on a yarn diet until like mid-September. And
How'd they do?
well, they're doing pretty well.
Okay.
So one of their stipulations is that if they have to finish a project and buy more yarn to finish it, that yarn doesn't count
Okay.
for their yarn diet because
Okay.
that way they're getting things off their needles.
Yeah.
But then one of their other friends came in and bought one of them whose birthday was just recently a gift certificate.
So
And she's like, but you have to tell her this does not mean that she can't buy yarn because she's on her yarn diet. This means she can because
she didn't pay for it.
she didn't actually Yeah.
Go for it.
It was really funny. It's been fun to kind of...
Nice. My issue is less of the money part and more of the like, oh my God, you have so much yarn.
Yeah, it's like, where am I going to put this?
Why? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, when you're digging through like sections of your stash and you're like, and here's another sweater quantity of fingering weight yarn. Here's another sweater quantity. Here's another one. You start to shake your head and go, okay. Okay then.
Yeah. I really liked knitting that winterly sweater from Lina.
Yeah.
That was a fun sweater, and I might consider doing another one. And I typically don't knit the same pattern twice because there's so many patterns out there, but I get so much wear out of that sweater, and it was relatively fast. It took me like a month. For a fingering weight sweater is pretty decent.
Yeah. Well, so. I have that skein of CC's fingering weight yarn. It's kind of like a goldish, dark gold color. And it's totally possible in my stash I have. Oh, I know. Did I show you? Did I send you a picture? I know I was sending you pictures on like Saturday. Was it that? I don't remember what it was. It's before I went camping, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, because that on the top and that on the bottom.
Yeah, that would be gorgeous.
Sorry, guys. This one for the top, and then the CC's is under.
I was gonna say Zwag, but you already did a Zwag.
I did do a Zwag, and I like that sweater a lot, but I think I'd do something different.
I know that's why I was hesitant to do winterly again, because I love it and I wear it a ton, but there are so many other patterns that I could do too. That would be similar, but maybe change up a little bit.
So you basically pick up all your stitches with your big needles and then switch to ribbing needles? Why don't you just pick up the stitches with the ribbing needles? Sorry, I'm judging the pattern right now.
Putting your judge robes on?
Yep. My judgy pants.
Yeah, so I did all that finishing up my cowl for shame to get those 5 needles, the size 5 needles, and then I didn't even use those. No, it was good. Then I got something off the needles, and now I have some free size 5s.
Nice.
Size 3.
3.
Yes.
It's gonna be bulletproof, Cal.
It is. But it's to gauge. That's gauge.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mine is not. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. It'll be interesting to see how it blocks out. But I love that.
It's pretty.
I know, they're fun. I like looking at the inside of sweaters too.
I know, right?
Color work, they're fun.
So.
That's fun.
Oh yeah.
I suppose.
Suppose we should. So then what did you use for your ribbing needles? 1.5s?
I ended up only just going down to a 2.
Oh, okay.
Because I was lazy and didn't want to go find something
Well, there's always that.
smaller, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going smaller than a 2.
Yeah. You're not going to knit it on a triple aught.
No. I mean, it's bad enough the 3s are a little bit tough on the hands, but
Yeah.
for a DK weight, but it's so funny.
Ooh.
It's okay. I like it. And I like the fabric. Jen was like, oh, that's pretty. I'm like, yeah, I know it's not your colors. She's like, no, you're right, it's not, but I still think it's pretty. I'm like, well, thanks. She's not kind of earth.
I would say it's the
Earth tone
browns
colors,
and golds. Yeah.
She likes purples and teals and blues,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is great.
So did you know that Netflix remade the Charmed show? Charmed. Do you remember
No.
that show?
Yes, the one with the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
No, I did not know
Netflix
that.
remade it.
It wasn't that long ago, though. I mean, that was like in our time,
Oh, yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, though. They're remaking all these shows from our...
That's because
childhood.
we're the ones paying the bills now.
Yeah, probably.
So they want to.
It's not bad. It's a little... I mean, of course, the special effects and stuff are way better.
I'm sure.
Because the CG stuff is so much better now. But
Yeah. That's
it's
so
a little
funny.
darker. That's the other thing that they've
Oh,
been doing with a
really?
lot of
Yeah.
those.
Yes.
Instead of them being so, like, bubblegummy. It's still some of that, but, like...
Yeah. I already watched through all of the new Stranger Things.
Oh, I haven't done that yet. I saw that it was out there.
Yeah. It's been so hot that I haven't been as good about doing outside things
Yeah.
as I should, and I'll do what I need to do to get done, the weeding.
I was watching Supergirl for a while, but I finished the new season of that.
I didn't get into that.
It's okay. It's, with a lot of those, like, I find that I get into it for the first couple of seasons, and then it's like the story just goes off into the weeds,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, yeah, I'm just not as into this anymore.
I do that with there are some series that I've been that way with, and I'm just kind of like, eh.
I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while on Netflix, and, like, the first few seasons were really, really good, and then it got kind of weird, and I was like,
I
okay.
don't have a tape measure in there. Do you have yours still handy?
I do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Meant to throw mine in my bag and I didn't. Good. I got like 2 more rows.
Nice.
Whoops, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's me. I did start reading a new book, though.
You did?
An actual book, not an e-book. Which is, like, unheard of these days for me. It's just awkward. No, but when we were camping, I didn't want to take my iPad.
And risk running out of batteries, too.
Well, it's like going to nature to look at your electronics.
You see that a lot.
I know. So I took an actual book. It's called City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. So she's the author that wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Yep.
It's an intriguing book. It is. I'm not that far into it yet, but it's about a young woman who was asked to leave Vassar. So it was set in like the 40s.
Okay.
So she was asked to leave Vassar. Her family had money. Her parents didn't really know what to do with her, so they shipped her off to New York City to live with her aunt who ran a theater. So she basically starts running with theater crew in 1940s New York City. So it's sort of a very interesting, to some extent, women empowerment type story of, basically women doing what society was telling them they should not be doing at the time. But like I said, I'm not too far into it.
Yeah.
So. But,
Cool.
yeah.
We got our garden completely planted.
Nice.
We've got tomatoes on the way and cucumbers, everything we planted so late this year. So we've got
weather's been so
spinach
strange.
and kale and peas and oh my god, our potatoes are going crazy. We always have had amazing luck with potatoes. Knock on wood. I don't have any wood around. But yeah, I'm superstitious. Yeah, potatoes we can do.
Cool.
So I love homegrown potatoes. They're so good. And of course we've got the chicken eggs.
You got all kinds of good stuff going.
Yeah, I know. We've got like this little mini homestead happening.
So all it needs is some sheep.
coming
Some goats.
next year. No goats.
Oh, no goats?
No, the husband will not tolerate the goats.
No.
I don't know what it's really. I think they're hilarious.
Goats are hilarious. They can
be jerks.
They can be jerks. I once got cornered on a porch by a goat, and I had to call my husband to come get me. And he had to drive the car over. I was at my neighbor's house.
Mm-hmm.
What was I doing? Oh, because the goat had got out. I was trying to get the goat back into its pen, and it cornered me on their porch.
Oh, no.
And it was a head butter. It was a pretty good-sized goat, and it was a head butter. And it wouldn't let me off the porch. So I had to call my husband. He had to drive the car over to get between the goat and me so I could get off the porch. And I was just like, whatever, your goat's out. Sorry.
I tried.
You're on your own. I tried to get it back in your pen. That was when we lived down in Brandon.
Really? Yeah.
But yeah, that goat was always getting out. They're tricksters.
They're very good at that. You think that you have a goat-proof pen, and they will prove you wrong every time.
Oh, yeah. Trixie.
My husband thinks that fainting goats are hilarious.
Fainting goats? I don't think I've seen those.
You've not seen... Oh, my gosh. For a while, there was some videos going around because all of a sudden people discovered the fainting goats. It's a survivor reflex or something. They just... If they get really, really scared, they just go...
That's funny. I mean, it's probably not.
They look like they just
freeze
their
up.
legs and everything, then they just like fall sideways.
I always see like all the jumping goat videos where like the goat's like bounding around and bounding off of things and onto things and like just basically like an out of control pinball.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, fainting. You should look up fainting goats after.
To look that up.
Yep.
Look that up.
They are great for removing like brush and.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They use them a lot on, especially hillsides where it's harder to get equipment in.
Yeah. And they have such unique personalities.
They do.
So unique.
We've got quite a few people that we get yarn from that have mohair.
Yeah.
The Angora goats. There's a lot of them around here.
Yep. Well, should we get started maybe?
Sure.
Maybe, just maybe.
Yeah. Before it starts going kaboom outside.
Yeah, because it might. Kind of looks like it's thinking about it.
Yeah.
How about that crazy thunderstorm, since we're talking about the weather, on Saturday? It was so, when that came over my house.
Oh, yeah.
It was so dark we had to turn lights on. Like, it was pitch black.
It did. Yeah, it was kind of like late afternoon. And, it was really funny. So, my husband was out, and I think he had just gotten home from running errands or something. And all of a sudden, the skies just start pouring, and there was lightning everywhere. And he just, like, stayed in the garage. He's like, well.
I guess I'll just stay right here.
Yeah. Yeah, because our garage is not attached. It's separate from the house.
Yeah.
So, he's got a workshop in the back, so he went out in there and put some stuff away. But he was like, I wasn't going to brave that. And the wind picked up, and it was just, for a little while, I had to run around the house closing all the windows so the rain wouldn't blow. But, it was pretty intense for a little bit. Not like the storms are getting other places where they're getting, like, inches and inches of rain.
Yep.
That tropical depression down in the Gulf, that could be pretty...
Yeah, it could be bad.
Pretty bad.
Could be bad. All right, now they just totally derailed with weather.
Hey, at least we're not starting the podcast with that. We'll got that right out of the way.
End.
We can start with our knitting, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay. To be determined.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got itch right as.
Fix my cleavage.
And just in time for the lights to go out, so there.
If it starts becoming more and more of a problem, I can cinch up the neck a little more.
Yeah, just sew it closed, or is it seamed?
Yeah.
So you can
Just
seam a couple
seam out a
stitches
little
on
further.
either side.
Yep. Yippers. Or just throw it in the dryer because it's cotton. Shrink that baby right up. It's just a tad bit.